Nightlife used to be fun for everyone, but then the club scene took a turn, and now men just don't want anything to do with it anymore. Today, though, we're watching modern women vent after realizing that men have officially stopped giving them the attention that they're really seeking. So subscribe, and let's get into it.
I hate to say this, ladies, but some women have played a part in bar and club culture going to shit. And it's because some of y'all would go to a club and y'all would just stand around with your arms folded, just looking around waiting for a nigga to buy y'all a drink. Like, this is how I know some of y'all ain't got no good big sisters or something, because when me and my sister went out, bitch, the first thing that my sister would be like is, bitch, let's go to the bar and get a drink right now. I got the first round, who got the next round? It's like...
She's right about how girls acting this way has really led to the downfall of clubbing culture. A guy will come up to you if he sees that you're at least interested in being with him. So she's spot on about that, because it's a big reason why girls can't find a man in the club nowadays.
I'm going to tell you why the club scene is over. The club scene is over because men want to be women. And when I say men want to be women, they want to cut the line.
Yeah, that's just not true at all. Why would men need to cut the line to get in the clubs? It's pretty much the opposite. The reason they're not interested in clubs anymore is that girls are just playing extremely hard to get, more than ever, it seems. You know, just buy a section or a table like the guys, and they might let you right in.
Well, you are broaching word right now.
I just want to say that New York club culture, everyone's complaining about, oh my god, New York club culture is dead. Why is it dead? Why is it dead? It's because these ugly ass fucking musty dusty bouncers that are these stupid like Musica, sorry, they said for two girls, yeah, $150.
Is everyone well in the head?
Like, no.
Are we okay?
And then we said, oh, we hate ourselves so we can do 40. They said no, 50. There's no one here. There's no line watch. Right. That establishment, they said 50 each.
To be honest, club culture hasn't died. She just doesn't know the right people to get into the clubs that she wants to get into. And the reason that she's super loud is that she probably got told off by a bouncer and now is bad-mouthing the entire club culture, I would assume.
Question is, what is the biggest ick in a girl?
The biggest ick in a girl is when she doesn't buy me a drink. I look at her and she looks at me and I go, "You buy me a drink?" She goes, "No." And I'm like, what the f-?
Respect. You know, why is it that we always have to buy the drinks?
Let's change culture. Men have feelings too.
Okay.
I love buying my girls some drinks, but when they gonna buy me some?
When is it gonna switch up?
Yeah.
I like that. That is the best answer I've gotten all night.
There's absolutely no reason why women can't buy my guy a drink here. You know, I agree that a guy who buys a girl a drink is a gentleman, but like he says, you know, girls should return the favor sometimes too. It'd be very attractive and very heartwarming. It's kind of switching the roles just a little bit for a second, right? You know, in fact, I think guys will be more attracted to girls who do that.
The UK is losing 5 nightclubs per week. And sadly, this is another one right in the heart of the city of London. Huge rents on these places. I mean, look at the size of it right by St. Paul's. It would have cost tens of thousands of pounds per month to keep going. The place actually used to go all the way down there and down there. In fact, over 40% of nightclubs in the UK have closed since 2020. And the reason for it is because the younger generation just aren't going out as much. They're spending more time on social media and interacting with friends and family in more of a digital way. And also the younger generation just aren't drinking as much anymore. In fact, 26% of people aged 18 to 24 don't drink at all. And that figures up from 15% just 10 years ago. And it's going more and more in that direction as people become more health conscious. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, follow for more London.
Of course, there's tons of clubs shutting down at alarming rates, and that's just because it's not really fun anymore. And I feel a little bit of that has to do with a lot of girls that are, for lack of better words, party poopers. They'd rather scroll on their phones in the club than have a nice guy approach them. So dudes not going to the clubs does make a good bit of sense after all.
So this is what New York clubs do. The club is filled up, not even, I'm being sarcastic. It's this many people in the spot, and they have lines like this. This goes around the corner. This is for Zeddy Will. They won't let anybody inside, having people to pay to get in to cut the line, and you go nowhere. and they're holding everybody up. There's literally open space. This is a Zeddy Will event. This is what they do in New York. Want you to pay them $100 to get in. Just for this. Or else you wait on a line that goes around the corner.
I'm not trying to be nosy.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be nosy.
Yeah, Zeddy Will, you lost one with this one. Bye-bye.
She's just pretty worked up here because she's not one of the people who are inside the club at the moment. And I'm not surprised that they're charging a fee because there are a lot of people that would get inside for free and spoil everyone else's party.
Is clubbing dead everywhere? Like, is it just LA? Because no one goes clubbing anymore. Like, no one even wants to go out. None of my friends have been to the club. I haven't been to a club in months. What happened to clubbing?
I mean, there's really no return on investment for men as far as clubbing is concerned, so it's no wonder they're really empty from that point. And neither she nor her friends head to the club, so I guess it's called getting old.
I'm gonna be honest, and this is for the women that complain about, oh, men don't approach me anymore, men don't want to go out anymore, the clubs are empty, the bars are empty. The truth is, men were never really interested in going out. And judging by, women saying that the bars are empty, still seems like that's the case. The only reason why we did that was to court women and to talk to women. But like with the modern women in 2025, it ain't worth going out no more. And I'm not saying like you can't go out, and chop it up with your boys once in a while. But in terms of going out to pursue women, like it's not worth it anymore. And if you think I'm lying, just take a look at your guy friends. I bet you their lives are mad simple and they could like go 6 months without even going to the club or to the bar or like to anywhere. They could just chill, hibernate in the crib and just chill. Because the reality is, like, a man doesn't really need much to survive.
He's as honest as they come and pretty much speaks for most men here. They've stopped going to clubs because the pool of females have seemingly become more complex and demanding, and just men don't want that hassle anymore. A night with your PlayStation really does sound 1,000 times better in most cases.
I'm old and I've lived in multiple cities, and I remember there was a time when you could literally get into the club, like just because you were a girl. Promoters would come out onto the street and look for girls, offer them offer them shots if they came into the club. Years ago, the guy at the door, he was telling me, I hate it when girls just come to the club and expect to get in for free. I don't care how pretty you are going to stand in line. I was like, oh my gosh. Thinking to myself, where did I get the idea that girls go to the club and don't stand in line? Because I have this idea in my head that girls just don't stand in line at the club. It's because now that I've been seeing all this discourse about club culture, it's because there was a time. It's like I forgot about it. It was so long ago, but there was a time when if you were a group of girls, you were definitely getting into the club for free. You were skipping the line because men bring the money and the men want to go where the girls are at, but not anymore. The men want to go where the men are at, and they just don't need girls to have a good time anymore. Specifically, remember, there was a time you'd be standing in a line outside and the man at the door would like let all of the ladies come in and the men had to stand in line. That really happened. It's all coming back to me. But now it's gotten so bad on social media. The club, DJs, they will say, oh, we have this going on tonight, but just so you know, you will be standing in line. Okay, just tell us you don't want us there. Like, just tell us we're just one of the bros, Dab us up while you're at it. This all happened in a bit of a sneaky way because everyone stopped going to the club in 2020. Clubs reopened again. We all had to stand in line in heels. I remember girls just being like, no, I'm not gonna go stand in line in my heels for hours to get in the club. We stopped going, like. We could do like a trial night. Girls don't stand in line or girls get in free. And let's just see what happens. It's worth a try. I mean, how much money are you gonna lose? We weren't gonna go anyways.
She spilled everything about nightclubs today, and none of it seems too far-fetched at all. I mean, everyone should wait in line to get in the clubs because that's just how clubs work and how lines work too. Plus, men really don't need girls at clubs to have a good time because they're here to have a fun night most of the time, not really be around someone who plays hard to get. Although there are some non-Sigma degenerates out there.
Oh my Destiny, what happened? We don't see you at the club anymore. Oh my God, Destiny, why aren't you at the club anymore? Oh my God, Destiny, you don't want to come out with us to the club anymore? No. The boys are on the couches. The boys are on the couches. Why would I come and the boys are on the couches? Getting on the couch used to be a bad bitch sport. Like, you used to have to be a bad bitch to be able to sit in the section on the couch. Like, you could have been a cute girl and you get into the section and you stand. All night you're standing. Now you go to the club and it's only boys on the couch. It's only boys. There's not even a girl on there. It's only boys in the section standing on the couches. Mind you, I love the club. I love outside. I love the club. I used to go to the club 5 nights a week. Like, it got so bad, security used to know me by my first name, not check my bag, not check my ID, walk me in. That's how much I used to love the club. But I went recently, and I noticed 25 men sitting on the couch, and all the girls on the floor standing around the table. And I could understand, maybe I got ugly. Maybe I got ugly and they don't want to let me on the couch. But there's not a single woman on the couch. And if I do get on the couch these days, I'm literally in competition with all these men elbowing me, sweating on me. Like, it's to the point, I don't even want to be on the couch. You guys have it. It's really hard to be up here because you guys are making it really hard to be up here. When it used to only be girls on the couch, there were no issues. All the bad bitches on the couch, dancing, talking, drinking, having a good time. All the men on the floor, dancing, talking, bobbing their head to the music, having a good time in their sneakers.
She's really making a big deal out of men giving each other importance, which is good that they do that. You know, that's what homies are going to do for each other. And that's because they've become smarter and don't want to give that space to girls anymore. As for her, who doesn't get into a space on the couch anymore, I guess it's her sign to maybe go to different clubs or retire entirely from the clubbing scene. It's totally up to her and her time, you know, where she puts it.
Shoreditch introduced the rule because people don't like to read the news sometimes, and I read it and I remember I messaged him and I was like, this is going to cause a problem for Shoreditch. He said any new venue that opens from now forward cannot apply for a late license. Any existing venue, your time's running out.
Right.
You have it, and we won't take
it
until you lose it. Yeah. But eventually, you're going to lose it.
You're going to lose it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because they're trying to like get you out of it anyway. So anything that happens.
Locking off Box Park Shoreditch. Wow. Okay. Now you're going to open up Box Park Liverpool Street.
So that's not going to have the license.
And we don't know what license it may have.
But this feeds into why we ended faded. Or not so much why we ended faded, but where the shift was. Now, name me a popping event that isn't daytime.
It's true, you know.
It's all daytime.
Yeah.
You don't go out at night.
It's true.
I just thought that was our age, though.
That's what I thought.
It's not. It's because, like I said, so half the clubs aren't around anymore. There were 1,500 venues in the UK 3 years ago. 500 of them were closed since.
Wow.
That's a third of all venues.
So
that's crazy.
Even the youths that are like, for example, the young versions of me and him, that are wide-eyed, 22, 23, that want to start an event. Remember, we started our first event. The hire fee was £300 and you'd be charged £5 on the door. If a 22-year-old did that right now, you'd be like, oh, you're a bum, man.
Yeah.
Like that culture of even just trying to find a space, and no matter what you charge, because you found a space I want to come, is gone. Now the space has got to be luxury. It's got to be I've got to have chandelier, I've got to have shisha. If you're not providing that, how are you getting people to go there? And it costs a lot of money to provide that in the first place.
It doesn't really allow for people to grow. Like you can't.
You have to start off lit, basically.
We were doing faded before we started Refresh. Refresh was the
lit side because we realised, I want jeans in 2 years.
He's not wrong when he says that people want luxury now. The nightclubs are going down and closing by the day. So what he didn't mention is that dudes these days know they need to bring purpose in their lives instead of going to nightclubs and wasting time. Making money is going to be a lot more fun long-term than short-term clubbing.
Women ruin club culture, man. It's simple.
Now it's women.
It's women. Like, yo, if y'all came to the club to mingle, like how men come to the club to mingle, it would still be the same. No man goes to the club with the intention to not meet a woman. Women go to the club with the intention to not give a f about nobody else in that space.
There was this club in New York, and it was an all-women's club. The women was in there, just all of them were just on their phone. Like, nobody was dancing. They wasn't even standing. They was in their phone.
That's how it would be with all men as well.
No. If it was an all-man club, it would have been empty because nobody would have went.
Why you have to come to a club with the intentions of meeting a guy, though? Or just a mingle.
Exactly.
Like I said, this is the reason that it's over with, bro.
Oh
like,
my God.
you wanna hang with your friends? Y'all can go to dinner. Y'all go to dinner. Y'all go to Dave and Buster's. Y'all go all the other shit, man.
Clubs haven't been the same since social media really took over. Like this dude said, girls stand around and use their phones, and to be fair, some guys do too, but dudes go to the club, meet girls, but since girls can't put down their phones, you know, these guys would rather spend time with their homies and have a good time. But hey, overall, everyone's having a good time, I guess.
I'm going to tell you why the club scene is over. The club scene is over because men want to be women. And when I say men want to be women, they want to cut the line. They want to go in with the promoter. They don't want to buy their drinks. They don't want to buy their bottle. They put on their best fit to impress other men. They're at this club to see this performer, to get a video that they were there and then talk about it for months that they know this performer. You know what I mean? They want to stand on stages with performers. Look at the Metro Boomin shit. That was so embarrassing. So embarrassing. At least if you're going to be a man that wants to stand on the booth, stand on the stage, stand in the section, at least bring a vibe. You're all just standing there looking at each other, clocking each other. I'm like, what's the point? And then you have other people on here like, oh, girls don't wear heels anymore to the club because there's nowhere to sit. There's nowhere to sit. You get to the promoter section, it's filled with the promoter's friends. The promoter will be like, oh, hey, like, you got to get up. Like, these women are here. Like, you got to get up. Like, these are the stars of the show. And they're having an attitude about it. And half the time when these guys do buy sections, they're standing on the couch. They don't even care about the girls in the club. They're not there to impress girls. They're there to impress other men, to post on their Instagram story. They're acting like they bought a plot of land in the club. And I don't even go to the club anymore. But when I do work at the club, I've even noticed this myself. It's insane work. You're in a bathroom line, no guy's letting you cut. You're at the bar, no guy's offering to buy your drink. And they don't even dance. Like, they don't even, like, what are you doing there? What are you doing there? It's so embarrassing. Like, it used to be the girls' show. Like, the girls come in with all these promoters, all these table sections, put on their best birthday suit, and pop outside. And they're the reason why big spenders in the club spend money. Like, if you have beautiful women and men willing to spend money, more money is spent with the beautiful woman. Not anymore. Not anymore. There's not even money to be made in the club because there's nobody on display besides these men in their Amiri jeans and their borrowed chains posting for an Instagram story. It's actually embarrassing. Aren't you embarrassed? And I knew this plague was upon us when I kept seeing the videos of all the men dancing on elevated platforms at club space. At club space. Fighting to be in the DJ booth with John Summit. Like, the math isn't mathing. And I think this is genuinely a reflection of where we're at as a society. Women are fighting for their role. It's crazy.
Men are finally shifting the dynamic in clubs, and I think she can't handle it. You know, it's not about guys trying to be like women because she's completely missing the point. Yeah, they're simply tired of the expectations, you know, the pretty big expectations. Somewhere along the way, some girls started acting like men were obligated to buy them drinks. It's always just been a courtesy. It's never been a requirement.
Club culture died when y'all started making women paid again. Okay, I know people love to say, oh, it was the music, they stopped making dancing music. No, it was when y'all started making women pay. Because at the end of the day, when I started clubbing, the women got in free and the men paid. Why? Because us women bring out the men. Men come because they know there's going to be girls there. And as soon as y'all started treating us like boys, it wasn't fun no more, okay? Anytime you go into a club and you first walk in and you scope the scenery, the first thing, this is how you know it's going to be a bad vibe. When you scope the scenery and you say, dang, there's a lot of niggas in here. There's a lot of men in here and not enough women. For every one woman, there's like 10 niggas. That ain't fun. Like, that's the thing that you're like, ooh, you might need to go somewhere else. There's too many niggas in here. And I know men say the same thing because you want to be where the girls are at, right? And I feel like this Metro Boomin situation is a prime example of how far club culture has died, how far gone it is. Because this man literally had to end his event early because grown men would not get off the stage. The thing about it is, if it was a bunch of women on the stage and they said get off, the women would have got off. But these grown men who like to stand on platforms, like to stand in sections and be corny and be the girls who want to be the boys, ruined a whole event. Metro Boomin probably walked in and said, there's too many niggas in here. And it's equivalent to you being a grown man and going in another man's section and then arguing that you don't want to get out of that man's section. Why are y'all trying to be up there with like groupies? Y'all want to be girls. Y'all want to be girls, and that's why clubbing ain't fun no more.
Now that the attention is off the girls like her and her friends, suddenly clubs aren't fun anymore, right? Yeah, that's just how that works. She could be a little less hypocritical in this case because she would be the first to turn up if a guy called for free drinks in the club, which is kind of funny and ironic, but I don't know. She's just a little bit too outrageous here for her own good, I think.
So from the standpoint of a DJ, this is how entitled women are currently have destroyed the club scene. And this might be a long one, so lock in with me real quick. When it comes to the club scene, entitled women add absolutely nothing of value to the club scene. Please understand the difference. I'm not talking about normal women. We love them. Normal women, y'all are great. The club scene would not be the club scene without normal women. Normal, everyday, go to have fun. They're not mean, they're not rude, they're stern, they're assertive, but they go to have fun, they drink, those women, we love y'all. I'm talking about a very particular type of woman, the entitled woman. The entitled woman doesn't want to wait in line. She doesn't want to pay to get in. She doesn't want to pay for a drink. She doesn't want to tip the bartender, and she doesn't want to follow any of the club rules. This type of woman thinks everything in the club revolves around her. She thinks because she's attractive that the world should just be given to her. And let me be clear. She thinks she's attractive. Whether or not she is or not has nothing to do with it, but she thinks so. And to her, that's enough. Entitled women at the club are like locusts. Like they come in there and they're just trying to manipulate the bartenders, the security guard, the DJ, the owners, just try to get anything they want, and it's like they add absolutely nothing of value. Normal women will buy their own drink, no problem. Normal women will pay their own way, no problem. Normal women will like take a drink, right? But they don't feel like they're owed it. And whether or not they want to do something with the guy, a lot of like normal women, if they're not actually attracted to the guy, normal women won't even accept it. Again, we love y'all. Y'all are great. But the entitled women, they're not nice to anybody. They're entitled. They have a bad attitude. They like take up space. They don't they add absolutely nothing of value to the club scene. Like as a DJ, entitled women will walk up to me, request a song, like a pure garbage, trash ass song, and I will flat out say, no, I'm not playing that. I will then watch them scurry their little asses, and I use scurry on purpose, scurry their little asses to flirt with the guy, and then they'll flirt with the guy, and then that guy will come and ask me, request that exact same song, like I don't know what he's doing. And I'm like, bro, she's not going to sleep with you if you get me to play her song, and just because you're a guy and you ask, I'm still not playing that garbage ass song. I'm telling you. I mean, obviously there are a lot of different factors, right? Like there's several different factors that it's kind of killing the club scene. This video is just explaining how the entitled women are one of them.
Exactly. It's not that all girls are the problem at all, but there are always a few entitled ones at the club who end up spoiling it for everyone else. And that is the truth. You really need to understand that looking good doesn't mean the world owes you anything. It's the club space is for everyone to enjoy.
I will say one major reason why I feel like New York City club culture is dying is simply because the men want to be the baddie. The men are dancing behind the DJ booths. The men are not buying drinks. The men want to be approached. And now granted, this is not all men, but like majority of men now think they are the prize, so they step in these spaces and now they want to be that spectacle by other men and by women too. And so because of this, women are no longer just in this space for fun. Women can't go behind the DJ booths. Women have to focus on things like the music, like the technicalities of the experience, rather than just thriving in the experience itself. And I didn't even know how many women were actually paying to party. Personally, if I have to pay, I'm not going. Where is the list? But a lot of women are paying to party. So now it's like, well, men want to be the baddies. I have to pay to party. They're not really playing music that I enjoy consistently. I'm not having a good time. And if women are not having a good time, men are not going to have a good time simply because the women bring the function. Without women, there is no party. And even if there wasn't a list, what happened to women free before 11, women free before 11:30? Like these early bird type tickets, that's not enough. The women need to be free and women only. So I feel like now people are resorting to wanting to be in more intimate spaces, wanting to go to more intimate parties where they know people or they can meet mutual people instead of actually just going to a party to party with random. Because when you're in a, let's say like a rooftop party, like a housewarming where you're meeting people from different walks of life or, you know, people's different eras of life. Now you're in a controlled environment. You can set the pace. You can really understand who you're meeting because you already vetted this person's character. So if you're friends with this person, so now we can all have a good time. It's a guaranteed good time. But when you enter these community third spaces that are now being monetized because they see how much you can capitalize on community in New York, it's no longer fun anymore.
There's so much wrong about what she tried to say in this video. You know, men are having a great time without girls being the center of attention. The club culture is only dead to you because it seems like you aren't enjoying your night out. And that is the truth. You know, don't worry about the guys because they're having a ball with each other. Worry about yourself.
Went to Cipriani last night in Beverly Hills. The vibe was so dead. I mean, as soon as I walked in, I was like, oh my God. I don't know what's up with LA scenery. It's not it. Literally, not it at all. After that, we went for a drink to Gravitas, the private club. It was empty. So I don't know what's happening with LA because the scene is just... There's nowhere to go. People are not out. I don't know. I guess they're not going out anymore. Maybe a lot of people moved, but the scene in LA is dead. Literally, I don't even feel like going out because it's just... The vibes are off.
Well, she's calling out the LA scene being dead, but there's a pretty good chance that scene isn't dead at all and she's just not invited to the right places. And that definitely could be the case. If you don't have a good night out in Beverly Hills, then maybe you could have gone to another club.
So a few months ago, I made a video titled Dating in DC, talking about how there are more women than men at the club, and that gives them this disproportionate advantage where they now kind of act and behave as if they're the prize. And a lot of people either agreed or said that I was male-centered, and I basically was like, okay, I will never talk about this on the internet again. And then I was scrolling on Posh and I came across this. So apparently this weekend there was this event called Women Love Beards. Essentially what it is, and I will read you the description from the organizers. Basically, they say in order to maintain gender balance experience, the men get in for free and the women pay $35 for entry. So this is the men's page, and then I'll show you the women's page. There's a whole separate page for women to pay to be in the company of men. Guys, I fear we've lost the plot. I mean, I get it. This is how they're solving for it. But when I said that there's a gender imbalance and it's making men act like they're the prize, this is what we get. This is what we get. Anyways, I refrain from having any comments on this, but all I will say is if I ever went to an event and then they made me the face of some shit like this, I'm suing. Your mama's getting sued. Your daddy's getting sued. Everyone's getting sued. Oh my goodness, this would be so cringy, like as a woman to be like, hey, I paid my $35 to come see some men.
You can have your suing session all day long by yourself because nobody's sending you an invitation in the first place. She doesn't like it when men are getting the attention, but flip the narrative for a second, and she would probably visit the same club every day if she got in for free, got free drinks, and etc. So much for equality, right? Equality for me, but not for the type of situation.
Club culture is dying. Why do you think that's happening? Why are people going more to lounges?
This is a very popular question I get asked a lot, and my theory behind it is actually pretty different than most. The root of why club culture is dying, there's many reasons. Dating apps are the obvious ones. Music, accessibility to music is different now. Back in the day when I was out, like new music, you have to go to the club to hear it. You don't just download it and go, you can hear it all. You'd have to go. But I believe that one of the biggest reasons, food delivery. I think that half the battle of going out is just being out. Like, so if you're at a restaurant and you're eating, and especially with women, you get dressed up, you're drinking, you're having a good time. What do you want to do next? Let's go somewhere, right? If you're having food at home and someone says, hey, let's go out, like, oh no, like I'm not going out. Like I take me time to get ready, my hair, makeup, all these different things. If I'm comfortable at home, everybody's more comfortable at home now. Club culture was already dying as it was. You had COVID and it was just like, that was it. That was the end of it. You know, there's no way to recover. Now, when you're 18, 19, 20, you've been at home for 2-3 years, you're not even going to the club, you don't even care to go.
Another reason these two haven't mentioned club culture dying is that girls are not being more welcoming towards men. Of course, men go to clubs for women, but when they aren't interested, then the guys would rather have fun by themselves and just hang out and be homies.
Do you guys think that club culture is dead?
In terms of club environment for non-EDM, it is dying because I actually went to Zouk a couple weeks ago. They're like fishing for girls right now.
Yeah.
And when I went into Zouk, it was like empty.
I think it depends on the club. Club culture in general has changed so much. It used to be like you go and you do exactly what you would do at an event that we go to. And now it just seems like people go into the corners with their drinks and just either try to get girls or sit there and get drunk.
There's no dance floor either.
The cost of going out is, first of all, stupid expensive. And then secondly, the whole reason people went clubbing in the first place was like, I want to go out to let loose, to relax. Now everyone is recording, taking videos. There's nowhere safe to just be stupid and express yourself. Once upon a time, we went to a club and people were trying to talk to me and taking pictures of me as I'm throwing up in a trash can.
I was one of them.
Taking a picture.
I was also taking care of him though.
And that's just like the sucky part. Despite us being in the industry, it still gives a look.
Wasn't there an article or something that in the UK even club culture over there is supposed to be a lot bigger than it is over here? Even over there, we're hearing it's struggling.
Yeah, James Hype was playing free shows. It was like breaking his heart because that's kind of like how he grew as a rising artist. He started to play these shows for free to help the venue out because they were going to close down a lot of these venues that he used to play at before he blew up.
Yeah, that is tragic.
He is pretty damn right about the fact that there's absolutely no privacy anymore at all anywhere. Anything you do, either good or bad, will be on the internet within minutes.
So I saw this video on TikTok of the club culture in 1995, the year that I was born, at this New York City club called The Tunnel. I was like mesmerized. I would to experience club culture in New York City in the 90s just in general. Like the 90s has the absolute best fucking house music hands down. If you're a fan of house music, you know that that's a fact. That 90s had the absolute best house music. Fast forward to 2012, 2013, that's when Zach started clubbing. And I genuinely think us young millennials we were the last to experience club culture because I went clubbing from 2012 to 2017, 2018. And those were the last good years to go clubbing because after that, it was COVID. And then after that, like people just, things just feel differently now. And no offense, but like Gen Z does not know how to go out. Like, I don't know if they're just high from their fucking vapes all the time, but they do not know how to go out. And if you go out to a club, you can't pay me to go out to a club anymore because if you go out, it literally is just a $20 cover to walk in and hear some bullshit Lady Gaga music. And there's 20 people dancing, like a little small cluster of 20 people dancing. And then there's a bunch of people standing on the outsides of the wall, basically socializing or watching the 20 people dancing. I'm like, this is not it. Why are we playing Lady Gaga? We need to get back to real house music. We need to get back to house music, okay? Like this mainstream music is just, it's not it. It's like, I would rather just stay home. I feel bad for this younger generation because they have no idea what the hell club culture is. No.
Apart from the questionable music, the club scene declined completely by 2019, but the real club scene ended around 2006. That was due to the rise of smartphones. Besides that though, if you're on a smartphone or whatever device you're on, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel to never miss content like this in the future, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay strong.